What do you think, Gino, are the three best things to spend your money on?
That's a good one. I think before it was, I would say the only thing I would spend money on is assets. But
Yeah,
I would never spend my money on anything else unless it makes me money. That's what it was. That's when you first start off. You should definitely not spend your money on things that don't make you money. Only
right.
spend your money on things that make you money. That's the number one rule. Besides that, if you're spending money, make sure you're buying assets or things that have value or are able to sustain the value that you bought them for. So you're not losing your money over time, depreciation. I would say, things that actually go up in value, obviously real estate, appreciation. And these are the things that I would say really matters. So, and the last thing would be traveling. If you're going to live your life, at least enjoy it, enjoy the money. And traveling is always food, good, and traveling. Like don't be cheap on food because you are what you eat. And traveling is really gonna, being able to see the world, interact with more people, see things that other people can't see is freedom. Being able to be in a different place during life, and being somewhere you can't be is, being stuck in one location is not freedom. Being able to be somewhere wherever you want and spending money on that is worth it. So I think assets, I think spending money on appreciating assets or things that make you money, and then finally traveling is the three things that I would spend money on.
Yeah. And I would say education, I think, is big for me. Like, and
Yeah.
I don't just mean like school or books. I mean, like getting to go to events and being in the room with other like people. If you can spend your money to be in rooms with people that are making more money than you, I think that's always a good investment. Just see how they're thinking, see how they're doing things. The number two, like you said, travel, but I would change it to experiences, right? I would say spend your money on experiences, like going in. Me, when I was younger, I joined the military and I got to live in Germany, right? So that was probably one of the best experiences of my life. Like I got to go and live in another country and I got paid to be there and be a little in the army, So that was cool. Like I would literally get paid on a Friday. I'd hop in this little tiny piece of car and we would just drive all over Europe and then come back totally broke and live in the barracks for a week. So it was a great experience though. But experiences, it teaches you a lot about yourself and it teaches you a lot about the world, right? The Americans, the biggest problem with Americans is they live in their stupid town and they have beef with all their stupid neighbors and they never get out of their own way and to experience their whole life, right? And the whole world. It's a big world out there. And there's a lot of things that you can learn from other cultures and other people. So I think that's very important. And then number three, I want to just say leverage, right? Things that you can leverage. Spend money on stuff you can leverage. So spend money on your team, spend money on marketing. Like you said, assets that appreciate something. If I could, it'd be like four. It'd be like spend money to get your message out there, get yourself out there, and then spend money on your team so that they'll do the work and help you to thrive, right?
Yeah,
Those main things.
I agree with you on that. I think I would say education, as well. But I think, I would not be, I guess I can't completely, discard the fact that I went to school and became an engineer. I didn't do it for no reason. I had to have something, right? So it's like you need something to get yourself going. And at the end of the day, education, I would also add to that list, Robert. Education, sometimes any education, regardless of what it is, will help you get one step closer to your goal. Sometimes just having the right mentor and having the right education is going to 10x your life or 100x your life way more than just going to school and getting a degree, for example. And I think that's what a lot of young kids nowadays really should spend their money on is finding the right mentors. Besides going to school, keep going to school. We're not against going to school. We're saying, school is still important. You gotta have a backbone. You gotta have something you can fall back on. But essentially, is you want to find a mentor or a program or something that you want to do, and you dive all into it, and you educate yourself, and you become the best at it. And that's really what it comes down to. Is I think education as well, brother.